These will be very difficult days for Palestinians returning to their homes. Of course, they've faced 15 months of unimaginable horrors there in Gaza. But what will these days be like, and what are you hearing from people on the ground, Milena?
To begin with, there's a sense of, a breath, a sense of being able to go back home. But what we're seeing or hearing from people on the ground is that they're really shocked by the amount of devastation around their homes that they're going back to. If we look at the situation just really quickly, almost more than 90% of homes have been destroyed in the Gaza Strip, 70% in northern Gaza, and around 50% in the southern areas. So people are shocked at the amount of devastation, but they have been living it for 15 months. There has been ongoing bombardment, killing of individuals, targeting of hospitals and clinics. So the situation is, at least on a mental level, people are taking a break at this moment. But in order to really feel the change or rebuilding in Gaza, there needs to be more aid coming into the Gaza Strip. We recently talked about at Human Rights Watch, or reported on the lack of access to clean water. And in that report, we looked into the destruction of water and sanitation facilities. Like, the whole infrastructure of water and sanitation has been either damaged or destroyed. So it's not only about people going to homes that are, unfortunately, the majority of them are rubble, but it's also about being able to get the basic necessities, the restoration of urgent necessities and services like food and water and electricity and fuel. Israel, in order for the Palestinians in Gaza to really benefit from this ceasefire, Israel does need to lift its blockade on the Gaza Strip to allow unfettered humanitarian aid at a scale necessary to meet the urgent needs. As you mentioned a while ago, there has been 600 trucks entering the Gaza Strip. But as a reminder, before the current hostilities, 500 trucks used to enter daily. And that was when the situation was semi-normal in the Gaza Strip. So when we're talking about 15 months of devastation, 600 trucks sounds a little bit not meeting the necessary standards.
So you're saying that's going to be a drop in the ocean for what's needed. And what about shelter, Milena? Because it's winter in Gaza at the moment for people returning to areas that have been flattened or where their homes are under rubble. What sort of shelter is necessary for people right now?
In many cases, we've seen people, living in the destroyed and damaged buildings that they are going back to. But this situation, unfortunately, does need more effort. And again, sorry to be a broken record, it's about humanitarian aid coming in. And this includes more shelters, more tents, more capabilities to rebuild shelters that are proper for winter. In December and November and January, there were 7 children who died from the cold. And this situation needs to change on an aspect where even medical evacuations need to happen at a large scale. The general director of the World Health Organization noted that during this time, it's really important to allow over 12,000 people to evacuate for life-saving medical treatment outside of the Gaza Strip. So when we talk as well about shelter, UNRWA is standing ready to operate in the Gaza Strip. They are willing and able to provide people. It's just a matter of, will Israeli authorities allow them to do so? And the ceasefire opportunity, or phase 1, is basically the litmus test to understand whether Israel is serious about its obligations in the ceasefire agreement, or whether it is a stalling tactic, or we're still seeing possibility of, not respecting these requirements.